Hello and welcome to the In News series of Drishti IAS. I am Pooja Divedi, and in this segment today we are going to talk about how 70% of the women who were being considered for permanent commission make it. So, this topic is important from the perspective of prelims as well as GS mains papers. So, let's begin with the topics of discussion step by step. First of all, we are going to talk about why news. We will also talk about the Supreme Court judgment of February 2020 in the light of the Constitution of India. We will talk about the status of women in the army in general and the challenges plus way forward. And in the midst of the segment, I'm going to ask you a prelims-based question for which if you know the answer, you can comment in the comment segment. So let's begin with why in news, because almost 70% of the women who were considered for permanent commission have made it, and they have been selected to serve full term in the army. From 615 women, 422 have been found to be fit by the Special Selection Board. The board was convened months after the government issued a formal order in the month of July, which was followed by the Supreme Court judgment of February 2020. So let's talk about the judgment first. The Supreme Court in February 2020 ruled that women are entitled for a permanent commission and they are fit for a commanding role as well. If we talk about the background goes back to 2003, when a group of women officers filed a case in the Delhi High Court, and it received a favorable judgment in the year 2010. But the order was neither implemented and it was even challenged by the Government of India. We will talk about it at a later stage. And then if we talk about the background, there was a scheme, Women Special Entry Scheme. Women's Special Entry Scheme, under which recruits were trained for a shorter period of time pre-commission as compared to their male counterparts, which were commissioned under the short service scheme. Alright, so what happened in the year 2006? In the year 2006, the Women's Special Entry Scheme was replaced by the Short Service Commission Scheme. Now it was extended to women as well, and the period of service was extended up till 10 years and it could be extended up to 14 years. However, it was restricted. Women were restricted to certain roles in specified streams such as education, army education corps, corps of signals, intelligence corps and corps of engineers. The specified streams excluded combat arms such as infantry as well as armored corps. And while male SSC officers could opt for a permanent commission after the period of 10 years, this option was not available to women. So women were kept out of this option, and women officers were thus kept out of any command appointment, and they could not qualify for government pension, which is receivable only after the completion of 20 years of service, as well as their promotion avenues also got very less. However, in February 2019, a policy statement, the government endorsed the permanent commission for SSC women officers in 10 streams of the combat support arms as well as service sector. But it was said that women officers would not be offered any command appointments and a permanent commission. The government cited certain reasons for such an argument. They cited reasons such as physiological limitations of women as well as domestic obligation. But the Supreme Court said that all these arguments were based upon sex or gender stereotypes which were premised upon socially offered or socially ascribed gender roles which are highly discriminatory in nature for women. So let's look at the highlight of the judgment. All serving women officers will be eligible for permanent commission. The court dismissed the government's stand that only women who have offered services for less than 14 years are ought to be considered for permanent commission, and who have served for 20 years should be pensioned off immediately. The court had done away with all discrimination on the basis of years of service in and grant of permanent commission in 10 streams of combat support arms and services, bringing them on par with men officers. They are eligible for command post as well, because the court said women officers will also be eligible for command post, and since an absolute bar on women seeking criteria to be a part of the commanding post as well as permanent commission does not go with the guarantee of equality under Article 14. Now what happened, there was a bone of contention in this as well. Should women be inducted for combat roles or not? What was the Supreme Court's judgment here? The exclusion of women from combat operation was not examined because it was not contested in the case that was filed in the year 2003. And the Supreme Court appreciated the government's February 2019 decision by saying that the court noted that the policy decision of the union government is a recognition and the right of women officers to equality of opportunity under Article 15. In the light of the articles, let's talk about it. Okay, first Article 14 is concerned here, Article 15 and Article 16. Article 14 says equality before law. Article 15 says prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. And Article 16 says equality of opportunity in the matters of public employment. So it's time for a prelims based question. You have to tell me in the comment segment that who decides by how far the fundamental rights apply to the members of the armed forces. Alright, comment in the comment segment. Now let's talk about status, general status of women in the army. When did the armed forces began inducting women? The army, the navy and the armed forces began inducting women in the year 1992. This was the first time when women were allowed to join the military besides being in medical stream. Initially, they could serve for 5 years and their service was extendable up to 5 years after that. And in 2006, we talked about this, the Women's Special Entry Scheme was replaced by the SSC scheme. Then, unlike male officers, women can join only through SSC and they are not given ab initio permanent commission. That means they have to join through SSC. They are not given permanent commission from the very beginning, unlike male counterparts. Now we will talk about in which wings were women first granted permanent commission. It was in the year 2008 that the Defence Ministry of the Government of India decided to grant permanent commission to eligible SSC women officers in branch such as Judge Advocate General as well as Army Education Corps. Until then, women were given permanent commission only in the medical stream. Also, the next question is, are women allowed to serve in combat position? We talked about this. There are more than 3,500 women in the military in India and frontline combat roles are off limits for them. Until the Government of India approved an Air Force in the year 2015, the Government of India approved an Indian Air Force plan and introduced them in the fighting stream. Warships, tanks and combat positions in the infantry are still off limits and a no-go zone for women. Now let's talk about challenges. The biggest looming challenge is to strike at the core of psychology of the society at large, and it is a long way to put in practice. The note which the government had given to the court citing certain reasons and for discrimination of women in the army, it said that basically the isolation and hardships in the army would take a toll on the resolve of women, as well as they have to heed to the call of pregnancy, childbirth as well as other familial obligation. They also said that women are much more vulnerable to be taken captive by the enemy and taken as prisoners of war. There is a patriarchal notion in the entire note. The court held that the note reflected the age-old patriarchal notion that domestic obligations should be fulfilled only and only by women, and there was also a sexist tone to it. It dismissed the point that women are physiologically weaker than men. They are the weaker gender. Also, there is an offense to the dignity of the Indian Army. The court held that challenging a woman's ability on the ground of her gender is not only striking at the dignity of the women, but the men and women who are serving consistently in the Indian Army. So the way forward is very simple: to change the mindset, and a large shift is needed in the culture, norms and values, not only the ranks and files of the army but at the society at large. If we talk about the army, and army who has to play the part, the top army officials as well as the politicians. The countries such as United States, Israel, North Korea France, Germany, Netherlands, Australia, and Canada are already employing women at frontline and combat roles. So India should also not lose the ground here. It is the right of every woman to practice her own profession of choice and reach to the top. And it is in line, in consistency with the Article 14 of the Indian Constitution. So basically, National Geographic has said that there are 16 developed countries which allow for induction of women in frontline as well as combat role. In order to become an Atmanirbhar Bharat, India should not only become Atmanirbhar in the section of males but also females, and it should make females as Atmanirbhar as well. I hope you found this informative. Thank you so much for watching. We'll meet tomorrow again.